Greg Rosenthal, who does the Around the NFL podcast, came out and basically said that the Redskins are setting up Dwayne Haskins to fail. Now, this is what he said. He said, no quarterback in the NFL, I think if you look at the whole situation, off the line, coach, receivers, everything, I don't know if anyone has a worse situation than Dwayne Haskins. He is set up to fail. So that leads to ask the question, are the Washington Redskins setting up Dwayne Haskins to fail? I would have to answer that question with an emphatic no. I think that Dwayne Haskins is in a pretty decent situation to succeed in Washington. Ron Rivera, although he's not, a great coach, I think he's a pretty solid coach. He can win games, he can build your roster up, he can get you to the playoffs, right? When you look at Ron Rivera's style of coaching, I think it meshes well with Dwayne Haskins and what the Washington Redskins have to work with on this roster. Ron Rivera's a guy who offensively, he doesn't really ask for much. This is a guy who wants to run the football, pass the ball when need be, right? And rely on his great defense, which is what the Washington Redskins have with Jack Del Rio being their new defensive coordinator going into this season, right? So, the offensive line, I will agree with Rosenthal on this, that the Washington Redskins offensive line isn't that great. It isn't, right? But, I mean, with Washington, this is a team that most likely is going to be a run-first team. They want to run the ball as many times as possible and then pass when need be. So, when you look at what Dwayne Haskins is going to be asked to do this season under Ron Rivera, Dwayne Haskins isn't going to be asked to throw the ball 30, 40 times, 50 times a game. He's not going to be asked to do that. He's most likely at most going to be asked to throw the ball between 18 and 25 times a game. Compared to the rest of the NFL, that's pretty much below average. Especially considering the fact that, this is a passing league and most teams throw the ball at minimum 30 times a game. So the fact that Dwayne Haskins is going to have that many opportunities when he has to drop back and throw the football is really great. Because this is a Redskins team that's going to have to run the football. That's the strength of their offense. Now, look, when you look at their halfback position, this is one of the most deepest positions when it comes to the halfback group in the NFL. You got Adrian Peterson, who keeps on defining Father Time for some reason. You got Darius Gotts. We know Darius Gotts is a Pro Bowl caliber halfback if he's able to stay healthy. You got Antonio Gibson. He's a rookie out of Memphis. He can play halfback. He can play wide receiver. He can do a lot of things. You got Bryce Love, who is a speedster out of Stanford. We still haven't seen him play yet. You got Peyton Barber. You got J.D. McKissick, right? So, I mean, this is a Washington Redskins team that is built to run the football, right? Now, you can say that Dwayne Haskins is set up to fail. Although they do have a great defense, the offensive talent around them isn't all that great. But look, Ron Rivera, the years that the Carolina Panthers went to the playoffs, haven't necessarily been all that, impressive when you look at what they had to work with on the offensive side of football. Go back and watch the Carolina Panthers 2015 team, the year they went to the Super Bowl. Their best receiver was Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn and Greg Olsen were their two best options in the passing game. So you mean to tell me that Terry McLaurin isn't better than Ted Ginn from 2015? I would like to say so. Terry McLaurin was one of the three best rookie wide receivers from last year. It was DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, and Terry McLaurin. Now, I'm not going to debate about the order that you want to put those guys in. But Terry McLaurin was one of the best rookie wide receivers last season. He proved that he could be a number one option. Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins both played at the University of Ohio State. They both had a pretty good chemistry there, and that chemistry pretty much carried over to the NFL because Terry McLaurin was Dwayne Haskins' main guy. So Terry McLaurin last year, based on what he did his rookie year, already proved that he can be a number one option. So the Redskins' wide receiving core isn't all that bad, considering the fact that look at what Ron Rivera has had to work with at Carolina. Besides from having Kelvin Benjamin for 1 to 2 seasons when he was actually a solid option, the Carolina Panthers receiving core hasn't necessarily been all that great when Ron Rivera actually won games and went to the playoffs and went to the Super Bowl, right? So this wide receiving core is better than what Ron Rivera has had to work with during the most of his time at Carolina. Not only do you got Terry McLaurin, you got Kelvin Harmon, who a lot of people were really high on. So, I mean, look, this Washington Redskins wide receiving core is not impressive. It's not great by any standpoint. But, I mean, I think it's pretty solid enough to get the job done compared to what Ron Rivera wants to do. Ron Rivera wants to run the football. Ron Rivera isn't interested in style points. He's not interested in running the football game, impressive or anything like that. He wants to run the football, pass when need be, rely on his great defense. Dwayne Haskins is a guy who's probably going to be throwing the ball probably like 20-something times a game. Compared to the rest of the league average when it comes to throwing the football, most of the league throws a minimum 30 passes a game, right? Dwayne Haskins with the offensive line situation, yeah, it's not great, but this is going to be a run-first team. This is going to be a run-first team that wants to run the football, take the ball out of the hands of Dwayne Haskins, only have the ball in his hands when need be, and he's not going to be asked to do that much. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you look at Dwayne Haskins' situation, is it great? No. But I don't think he's set up to fail. I've seen quarterbacks in the NFL do a lot worse with more, right? So, I mean, look, when I look at a quarterback who's set up to fail, I look at a quarterback like a Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota was set up to fail at Tennessee. Several head coaches, two different head coaches, several different offensive coordinators, year in and year out, they were changing their offensive coordinators. They were basically swapping them out like how I changed draws. So, I mean, look, I've seen quarterbacks do a lot worse with better, right? So I don't necessarily think Dwayne Haskins is in a situation to fail. First of all, he has a good coaching staff. That's for one. I mean, Ron Rivera, like I said, he's not exceptional, but he's solid. He can win games. He can build your roster up. He can get you to the playoffs. And he has a great defense to rely on. So, I mean, Dwayne Haskins is in a pretty okay situation, right? I mean, this roster isn't the best, but I don't necessarily think that he's set up to fail. A lot of people got to look at what Dwayne Haskins had to work with last year. Dwayne Haskins basically was thrown under the fire. He was playing behind one of the worst teams in the NFL of all time. That Redskins team last year was really bad. You could make the argument to say that they were worse than the Miami Dolphins in the second half of the season, right? So, I mean, Dwayne Haskins, when you look at what he had to work with, he had to come in with basically an interim coach. The offensive line was terrible. I mean, Adrian Peterson was pretty much it in the running game. And in the passing game, you only had Terry McLaurin. That wasn't really much to work with. And the defense wasn't really all that good, right? So when you look at the talent and the team that Dwayne Haskins has this year compared to what he had last year, it is night and day. You got a better coach. You got a better coaching staff. And, I mean, you got a great defense to work with. That should be able to bail you out if you make mistakes. So, I mean, a lot of people keep saying, like, Dwayne Haskins is set up to fail. And he might be. I might be wrong on this, but I don't really see it. I think Dwayne Haskins fails. I think it's more on him just not being a good quarterback than it is based on his situation. Now, given quarterbacks fail because, situation and everything else. But I think Dwayne Haskins has the tools to be successful. He's not a guy who's going to be asked to throw the ball 30 times a game. He's not a guy who's going to be asked week in and week out to carry the team on his shoulders, carry a team with a bad defense, carry a team with limited options in the passing game and things like that. I don't see that with Dwayne Haskins at all. Dwayne Haskins has a team that he can be set up over the long haul to win and be successful. Now, like I said, the offensive line concerns me. But, I mean, when you have a bad offensive line, a great way to negate that is throw the ball as little time as possible and run the football. And with the Washington Redskins roster, with Ron Rivera, what Ron Rivera likes to do is he likes to run the ball anyway. Ron Rivera is a coach who doesn't want to win by style points. He wants to win games the way he can win games. It's probably ugly. It's probably low scoring and things like that. There's not going to be a lot of blowouts and things like that. But he has won. He has been to the playoffs. He has been to a Super Bowl. And, I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl with probably less than what the Washington Redskins have now on offense. Although the offensive line was pretty solid. So, I mean, look, I'm not saying that the Washington Redskins are going to be good or anything like that. But I'm just saying that Dwayne Haskins, I don't think he's in a situation that he's going to completely be set up to fail. Yes, the offensive line is not that great, but they have a good run game. Adrian Peterson has rushed for nearly 1,000 yards almost every single season since he's been a Washington Redskins. So, I mean, you're looking at a team that's basically wanting to run the football, set you up with play action, and throw the ball deep to Terry McLaurin or whoever they have in the passing game, right? You don't have to have a great receiving core to win in the NFL. All you need, really, is decent offensive line play and a good run game, and a coach that knows how to make adjustments, knows how to win games, knows how to put you into a position to succeed. And I think that's what Ron Rivera is able to do. I mean, you can make the same argument and say that Cam Newton was set up to fail when he got drafted by the Carolina Panthers. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't think Dwayne Haskins is in a situation that he's completely set up to fail. I've seen quarterbacks do a lot worse with better. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you guys think Dwayne Haskins is set up to fail? Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.